Hey yo guys, what's up? Welcome to First Issue Tech. My name is Kyle P, joined by Mr. Courtney. What's rolling today?
Not much. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is our fourth episode. We appreciate you joining us on every mission that we go on to bring some of the latest tech news or just the things that we're interested in. Hopefully you're interested in some of these same topics that we discuss. It's a blessing to be here.
Every day above ground, my friend.
That's right. We got lovely people listening to us. Hopefully they're listening while they're cleaning their house or driving to work, doing whatever they do, because you can multitask. You don't have to sit down and stop what you're doing with your life just to listen to two dorks talk about techs.
Hey man, everyone should be a technophile that watches this, so I hope they understand and appreciate multitasking, because that's what makes this life quite great.
That's right. Get things done.
You know it. Speaking of getting things done, Samsung's about to get some things done. I'm terrible with these puns. I'm terrible, but I'm gonna keep rolling with it. So basically, yeah, we started the conversation a few minutes ago. Galaxy S8 is here, or by the time you hear it, it will probably be in your hands if you were lucky enough to pre-order it. And I mean, it's what I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, I'm excited. They've got that new Gear 360 redesigned camera with the LED. I think that 360 camera is pretty cool. I like how it can kind of just be mounted and do different things with it.
Oh yeah.
And then they launched a new Samsung Home Connect, which is cool. That they keep saying the new VR, but the VR is just still the same. It's using all the processing power from the phone. It's not like it's anything more special than it was.
Let me stop you right there. There will not be a truly revolutionary Gear VR until they make a Gear VR with a goddamn cooling fan on the inside.
Cooling fan and its own CPU.
That would be nice, but a little expensive. I'll stick with just a fan.
There you go, thinking about other people's pockets. Stop being such a nice guy. Alright, Samsung, look, I know you're listening because you guys love us. Samsung, tell me, make a Gear VR. It can cost about $300-$400, but let it work independently of an actual phone. Where you don't need a Samsung phone to work it. Get all the same access as you would as if you were connected to a Samsung device. Make it Wi-Fi, and then we can plug it in. But it can't explode while we're wearing it though. It cannot catch fire on our heads. There's got to be a whole lot of safety protocols involved. Because I would hate to be sitting here in my living room or in my VR room as I'm playing a game, and next thing you know, my afro's on fire. I'd be upset.
I mean, hey, technically it won't be on fire. You'll just be smoking some battery acid. Quite tasty.
Yeah, as my skin notes. And then a lot of people may think what Samsung did with their DeX, their D, capital D, lowercase e, capital X, docking platform, they may think that it's something that's new and original and vibrant. Let's not forget that Motorola tried it about 10 years ago with the Atrix when computer processing power just wasn't there and people really weren't into it. And then most recently you've got Microsoft with their Continuum, which it works flawlessly, it works great with the Windows Phone, when a lot of people still sleep on the Windows Phone. But the HP's version, the Elite, is a great phone. And then you have the Idol that's on T-Mobile. That's a great phone. And you still have the Lumia 950 and 950 XL. Those are all four great phones that you can get a true Windows 10 experience on a mobile device with Continuum. But we're talking about Samsung here and that DeX dock. It works the same way. Basically, you take your phone, you plug it into a dock that connects to your monitor, and you've got a full-fledged computer interface. And I'm putting quotation marks around that because you can't run computer programs, but you can run your mobile apps. And if you're running Office, you can get everything you would do on your computer with Office, as far as browsing the web and using Office documents or Google Docs. You can do that with this, and it works amazingly well.
And that's something I was kind of looking to. Sorry to cut you off so abruptly. That's a kind of use case I didn't realize was as practical as it was until a few days ago, or rather a couple of weeks, when I started looking to a secondary device, because I wanted to do some little work on, put together podcast stuff on the side, or do process Word documents when I'm out and about. And it gets really, even with a large screen phone, it's not ideal. So I actually started looking to these Windows tablets, and even Android tablets, because you can still Bluetooth keyboard and everything right to those, and you have, like you said, these Windows apps. apps. So you can get a stripped down version of a computer, which, let's face it, for most people is all they use it for now. There's no need for all of these third-party applications and programs like in the XP days.
Yeah, people do it all the time using worthless, pointless, money pit iPads. Like those devices are completely pointless.
Mm-hmm.
Or like a Surface RT, those are pointless. Now a Surface Pro is a full-fledged computer, and you can do everything with that because it is a computer. The iPad is not a computer. You cannot replace your computer with an iPad.
It's pointless to the average consumer. I mean, no, it's pointless to the enthusiast, but it's everything to the average consumer. My mom has not used a computer in 8 months since I bought her an iPad.
Yeah,
she rarely uses her phone, actually.
Yeah, see, for most non-tech savvy people who really don't know what they're doing with the computer, an iPad like that type of device would be fine. But the cool thing about the DeX, Samsung's DeX, is it, like I said, it works just like Continuum. You can use virtual machines, virtual desktops, so you can log in to your VPN if you have one, or your company's VPN, connect to your workstation, and have full access to your full PC with all your PC programs and everything, and you can work away. Yeah, and see, people keep that like, oh wow, Samsung is doing this great thing. Microsoft's doing it as well, but because the market share for Windows Phone just isn't a huge enough number for people to think about, they think that Samsung is really like setting the standard, when Samsung is pulling an Apple on us this time and actually just copying what someone else is doing 100%.
Samsung and Apple have been doing that for years. They'll always claim that they've had the newest tech when it's been around.
Yeah, and since since I went through 3 Note 7s, I've been using this iPhone since, how long have I had this iPhone? Since December? I don't know.
I think a little earlier than that. Yeah, like November.
It's a little tough. It was really hard at first. It got easier, and then I found more uses with it by grabbing an Apple Watch, which was cool. I got the Series 1, really great deal on it. Then I took it back and exchanged it for the Series 2 just to have. And I didn't pay, really didn't have to pay much of a difference because of the deal that I got on the other one. But anyway, so I found more uses for the Apple Watch, these Apple products. I'm really starting to miss my flexibility, my ability to do things the way I want to do, either with a Windows Phone or with an Android. And I'm really curious on that Note 8. There's nothing but speculation right now. There's just whispers in the night. But that's the phone I think that's going to have me dump my Apple phone.
Possibly, because in all fairness, to most people, well, I guess to enthusiasts mostly, the S8 doesn't represent a big leap forward, mostly in the display area, which I will agree. Having gone from an iPhone to a Samsung to an LG phone, now back to a Samsung, a great display is something that is highly underrated in my opinion when going to something else. These AMOLED panels are the bomb, and that display, you'll want to look at it a lot more, so I can understand that's a nice feature. However, everything else has been ripped straight from the Note 7, and there's nothing really new.
That's very, very true. How much innovation can you add when you have your S8 that does everything the Note 7 was doing, just with that 835 inside?
Yep. Now, going forward from that, I was thinking this earlier, is really the only thing I could think that a Note 7 would push, and would be pretty nice, actually. Note 8, Note 7, yeah. I mean, they've got the numbering thing all screwed up. But yes, the 2017 Note should totally have a 4K display.
I agree. I think being that you have the S8 Plus at 6.2 inches, I think the Note 8 is going to have to be either the same 6.2 or step it up to 6.5.
Yeah.
Because they're going to, if they don't do that and all they do is add the S Pen and a 4K display, then basically you're just buying the S8 with the S Pen, which is not cool. Not even close to cool. So
yeah, I think by that point, because at least you could argue that the Note 7 compared to the S7 Edge was a different design, it was larger, and it had the S Pen plus iris scanning. So there was enough for the average consumer to say, okay, well yeah, I want those. So they are going to have to pull something. They are going to have to pull a larger display, at least a larger display, and one other feature. I'm trying to think of anything I can think of that would really
like a 5,000 milliamp battery.
I don't think Samsung would do that.
Why not? Okay, you got 4 gigs of RAM in your S8 and your S8 Plus. So stick 6 gigs of RAM in your Note 8 and do like a 4500 milliamp battery. Because if it's going to have a larger screen like 6.5 inches, then that means you have enough inside. Put in a 4000 to 5000 milliamp battery.
True. Now that I think about it, yeah, you have a 3500 in the S8 Plus. You would need at least 3800 at the bare minimum. Bare minimum. I'd like to see 42.
Nothing less than 4000, because then it's like, what's the point? You've got this massive display with this huge processor, these beautiful colors, so much going on with a Note that's not going on with a standard Samsung. You cannot come back with a battery smaller than the S8 Plus. It has to be a larger battery. It just has to have more RAM, and it has to have a larger battery. The cost has to make sense, and they can even sell that Note 8 at $1,000 and only give one option. Give 128 gigs of storage. Sell it at $1,000 at $950, which would be $1,000 basically. And your only option will be 128 gigs onboard storage with expandable storage, and everything else that the S8 has, as far as all the standard waterproofing and all that, etc. But that will make the Note 8 a true Note 8, in my opinion.
I got it. I think I got the one feature that's going to separate the Note 8 from the S8 Plus.
Push to talk.
That would be, I mean, yeah, just throw the Bixby button out the way, which is a whole other thing I'm not going to talk about because I don't believe in Bixby.
No,
but no,
the Bixby button, I repurpose that as a dedicated camera button.
you can't as of now. That's the kicker.
Like I said, I repurpose it as a dedicated camera button.
That would be great. So, speaking of camera, what if? Because the main thing is the sensor is actually the same from the S7 and S7 Edge to the S8. They kind of downplayed it, the rear camera anyway. So what if they bumped it back up to a 16 megapixel and introduced HDR in the camera? HDR video recording, because they're all HDR compatible. Now you have a 4K HDR phone with an HDR camera. It is the sharpest camera and phone ever. That would be great.
No other mobile device is doing right now. That's true innovation.
That would be amazing.
Sounds like you just had an orgasm.
I think I need a cigarette, man.
If I smoked, I'd give you one.
Anyway, but I think that would sell it to me. A HDR camera, a 4K HDR camera. Holy shit. And then bundled it with Samsung's 4K TVs. You have a winning combo.
Sounds like you should be working for Samsung marketing.
Sounds like I need to make sure I send this podcast to them before we put it on the air so I can get my royalties.
Alright, so are you considering getting rid of your S7 for an 8?
For an 8? No. I got a really great deal on the S7 Edge, and I can't trade up for an $850 phone that has so little when my deal was so good. I basically owe less than half of that on my phone now, and I just got it.
Oh man. Speaking of less than half on phones, the LG G6, or I'm sorry, the V20 G6 is half off right now at Sprint for the next 9 days. That's crazy.
That's actually the first I've ever seen. Besides, wow, yeah, I've never really seen a flagship phone that just launched get that big of a discount.
And it's a zero gimmicks, no funny business phone. The phone is straight to the point, and it does exactly what you expect from a flagship phone.
And technically speaking, it does outpace all of last year's top-end phones. It's
outpaces yours.
Yes. I still prefer the camera on mine. I still kind of would prefer it at the end of the day, maybe. But yeah, it's an amazing phone. There's no glaring weaknesses, and everything's just really great. So for the price, that thing retails for $650, so you're getting it at $375. Mm-hmm. Holy shit!
It's worth getting, and it's waterproofing and wireless charging.
Mm-hmm. So you can take all those savings and you can go buy Samsung's incredibly overpriced wireless chargers. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, right. Plus you have the headphone jack.
Ooh,
just like
shots fired.
S8 has the headphone jack. Sorry, Apple, no one's following your lead right now.
A couple people are, but it's very slow.
No, they're not, because Android was doing it first. So let's keep it real. No, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not an Apple hater. I'm not an Apple basher. So don't send us your whack ass comments or complaints about how it sounds like I'm hating on Apple, because I'm not hating the rotten fruit. I'm just speaking the truth. So if you don't know the history history of Apple's devices or their product innovation. Shut the fuck up.
Giggity. Well, I think we've lingered on that a little too long because now we're about to get into something fun.
Yeah, we're talking like GDR5, 6 teraflops.
It's not
a poison stinger.
It's got to be more than 6 teraflops. The PS4 Pro is 6 teraflops.
The PS4 Pro is not 6 teraflops.
I'm pretty sure it was.
I really thought the PS4 Pro was like 4 teraflops or something like that, but it's going to be more. It's pushing more than 6 teraflops easy.
Either way, yes, making its way downtown, walking fast, faces past, and it's homebound. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Project Scorpio. Digital Foundry went out and got hands-on with the Project Scorpio. Xbox's new baby, and you go ahead and tell me what your first impressions are.
My first impressions are hell has frozen over. Microsoft has done what I did not think they were actually ever going to do. They are refreshing for a third time like they always do. There's always like 3 or 4 refreshes of their consoles, but this one they actually outdid Sony. We're looking at freaking 12 gigs, GDR5, 1 terabyte hard drive, 4K UHD Blu-ray, 4K native gaming, 60 frames a second. Can I get a hello? Ooh.
Hey, PS4 Pro does 4K 60 FPS?
No.
On indie games?
No. Doesn't count. And then we're talking about the GPU. Ooh, I can't even talk on it. Okay. Other than that, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I'm really, it's great that we've got a console like this where and then with the current, it's going to be fully backwards compatible, so the current gen Xbox One games will look even better. They will either be in 1080p or they will look extremely detailed on the Scorpio or whatever it's going to be called, Xbox One 2.0, something like that.
Xbox 2.
They might as well just call it Xbox 2, but that's stupid because we had the 360. Let's just call this the Xbox One 2.0. Call it Xbox One 2.0, and it's smaller than the Xbox One S.
Oh, I didn't actually read anything about that.
Internal power supply, yes. Now it may be a little bit longer, but it's actually going to be smaller than the One S. Yes. Now my only thing that I wasn't able to find any information on, maybe I overlooked it because in all the excitement, but I didn't see any mention of Kinect compatibility.
Oh, no. It's gone. No Kinect.
See,
that one's confirmed.
That's bullcrap. Because there's nothing like walking into your room and say Xbox on, and your TV and your console comes on and it's ready to go.
That I want to touch on first because I found that even when it launched, I wanted the Kinect to succeed, but I also realized that that's what most people use it for. And you know what else accomplishes that for a fraction of the price? A mic, anything. Just have an always-on mic, USB mic that they recognize as a Kinect, and done. You can get rid of the $100 piece of chip brick, you know what I'm saying? Because they dropped no games supported anymore unless you play Just Dance. So, I mean, I see why they've done it. But yeah, just have the option. I'll agree. That sucks because they won't have those options going forward. But if they can just program or have like an always on like Kinect, do a Kinect mic that you can just plug in through USB, mount it to the side of your TV, and have that always on, then you could solve those problems. Best of both worlds. And sell it for like $30, $40 most.
You could do that. Or, another cool thing would be like our headphones that are wireless. We can just grab them and say Xbox on and it turns Xbox on.
Or keyless entry for your Xbox.
You just walk into the room and it recognizes you. It says, there's the Bluetooth device right there. Let's turn on Xbox.
I mean, that's possible too.
Well, from the Xbox app, you can actually turn on your Xbox from the app itself directly.
I could see that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it works. I do that. I turn it on. I just open the app and just turn on the Xbox.
That's cool and all, but it just seems counterintuitive because I know the app takes way longer to open than actually grabbing a controller and pushing the button. But I digress because we're getting a little too far away. My big thing, so how do you think they're going to position this console? Because, as I was going to say before, PS4, me personally, looking back, I don't think it's being handled very well. It's being handled poorly, in my opinion. But I think the PS4 Pro is sitting exactly where it needs to be because the games are exactly the exact same experience, but it's allowing you to play with more pixels and look a little better, or higher frame rate at a lower thing. So when a lower resolution. So when the games are optimized, which is a problem, is no one's pushing these patches. But it works because the game is the same. When you go on, when I see Scorpio here, there's such a gap that they're almost gonna have to do two different configurations of the games going forward.
No, not at all. Because the games that will play on Scorpio will play on the current Xbox One systems without a problem. It's just like going into the settings and how you turn 4K on when you get a 4K TV, and you just turn just to standard HD when you don't have a 4K TV. The system's going to recognize it automatically. And if you're on a 4K system, and you're running the 4K TV or display, it's going to play the render of the game in 4K in its full glory. If you're on a subpar TV or just a standard HD TV and you plug it into a current gen Xbox One, it's going to play just the same.
So don't you think you're also going to run into issues with the developers not patching them? Because albeit these are PC-based architectures, however...
Right, but see, that's different though. Those are two different things. See, your question was, will they have to do two different architectures for the gaming, right? For the games.
Two different configurations, two different...
right.
Mm-hmm.
So if they were to say right now, games that are currently out right now, when you put them on them, they're going to have to be, I don't know how, I don't know if they're going to, well, yeah, it would make sense. They would have to be patched, some type of update patch. But they'll run on the Scorpio, and I'm pretty sure those are all being worked on now, especially for for big name games that are currently out. But the new games, you don't have to do anything different. You just slide it in and you play it, because the Xbox One S has the 4K Blu-ray drive, so it's going to play the disc without a problem. Now the older Xbox Ones, that I don't know.
Well, my only thing is from a core, because my expectation for this before going into this Ultra HD iteration of the generation was that these games are all running on PC-based architecture. We're running AMD APUs, so it's very close to a PC 6 years ago by now. So I was thinking that, okay, these games are basically running on very close to PC code. It can't be that hard for them to go in and say, hey, now that we have this extra horsepower to work with, let's just bump up some anti-aliasing, throw some more pixels, and do a little testing, or just basically unlock the code and then let the system dynamically scale it, or at least allow you to change some settings.
Well, right now, the only games that we know for a fact will get the performance boost is Gears of War 4 and Halo 5. All the other games that are out, we have to wait until E3 or later for the announcements on what games. Kind of just like probably what they did with the backwards compatibility with 360 titles on Xbox One. Every few weeks, more and more titles became available, and now almost the entire 360 catalog is available on Xbox One.
That would be great, but my thing is, there are only like 20 games that are patched for PS4 Pro.
Yeah,
it's the fact that
PS4 users, but we're talking about Xbox.
It's up to the developers. That's the thing, is Microsoft can't have access to everyone's code, so it's up to the developers to go back and take a game that's making them no money, a game that came out 1 or 2 or 3 years ago, and you're telling the development crew to go in and say, hey, you need to go in and make a patch for this so that we can make more money. That's probably why you're not seeing a lot of that going on, and that makes the end user experience frustrating.
Well, Sony and Microsoft are two different. They have two different business strategies and views on developers and their games. Microsoft is more open to put a little money in the developer's pocket, to give them some incentives to doing that legwork, as when Sony, they're more like, just fucking do it, and people don't get down like that anymore. Sony can't just bully their way into getting things done.
Well, they don't exactly have the capital that Microsoft has to work with too, unfortunately.
Especially since they sold off a big chunk of their game division, if not the entire thing.
On top of everything else, I don't think, besides the game division, there's not much of Sony that's profitable anymore. Their TV department, maybe.
This is how petty Sony is. They're trying trying to pull Spider-Man back from Marvel already. When they see how great the Spider-Man Homecoming movie is, they're trying to pull him back. So he may not be in the next Avengers movie. Really? Really? Sony? Really? So, whatever. That's got nothing to do with the Xbox. But anyway, Scorpio's we're looking at 4.5 times the power of the original Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm excited. I really can't wait for E3 so they can say, and it's coming out in October for this holiday season for $499.99. That, and it's available now for pre-order and purchase on the Microsoft Store. I will go right into GameStop and pre-order my console.
And I'll be glad. That makes it good.
The only reason why I go to GameStop instead of Microsoft is because Microsoft, they want your money up front. They want all of it. But they actually don't charge you until it ships, which is cool.
I see. I mean, I do like, well, not only that, but Microsoft stores will rarely open at midnight for a product launch.
I am not doing a midnight product launch for the console because that means I'm going to be up for the next 3 hours just getting it set up and ready to go with updates and patches and things like that.
Well, that's also like another good reason to do it at midnight, so that way you can get up and you start the patches, and then you go catch a nap. You wake up 3 hours later when most of it's done, and you get to gaming.
That's true.
Instead of getting it 10 o'clock first thing in the morning, and then, well, alright, let me go,
spend the rest of my day getting it set up.
Yeah, or, let me go mow the lawn, let me go, I don't know, just work out, whatever.
Yeah, I'm excited. My son's getting an Xbox One this year. He's getting mine. He's getting my 1S.
Oh, you got a one?
Yeah, I got a 1S.
I don't remember you upgrading.
Yeah, I took my old one in and traded it in when they had like the $150 trade-in special.
Mm-hmm.
Did that, couple of games in my Connect. Got it for free, basically.
That's cool.
Or if you want to call it free. But yeah, that's it. I mean, I'm excited for the Scorpio. I'm really curious on what the name's going to be. I'm cool with Xbox One 2.0, even though that doesn't make sense. But I mean, it's what are you going to call it? Or just leave it as Xbox One Scorpio. Take the product off and just call it Xbox One Scorpio.
Yeah, I mean, we all know that never happens. But as far as on names, I mean, I'm trying to think of something that might work.
Well, let's save that for our next show. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to thank you for sitting here and listening to us bicker and talk and laugh and joke about what's coming out in tech. These are the things that we're passionate about, and that's all we're ever going to talk about. Things that we're actually interested in. So if you're interested in what we're talking about, then feel free to continue listening. We love to get your comments, any ideas, suggestions, anything that you're thinking about that you want to share with us. Let us know down below in the comments or send us an email.
Alright, well, good night, folks. Thanks for hanging with us. Y'all keep it real.